Hi there, my name is Sydney and I'm from Polokwane here in South Africa, and it's a place that I'm very sure you've never heard of. But thanks to technology, I'm able to reach out to you and you are able to watch this video. So thank you very much for accepting my invitation and for watching this video, even though we do not know each other. One of the biggest topics for 2021 has been climate change, and I believe that everybody's trying to do their part with regards to climate change. So my first question to you is, have you decided or thought about how you can reduce your carbon footprint, and what options are there for you? My second question to you is, we've all heard of Elon Musk, who, by the way, is also from South Africa, and he has impacted the world of transport and energy like no other in the last 10 years, and with his Tesla vehicles and solar energy projects, as well as their gigawatt battery factories. So have you considered buying yourself an electric vehicle, or do you have an electric vehicle? So that's the second question for you to think about as I carry on. Now, I'm the fifth generation African, and I've lived my whole life on this amazing and misunderstood continent. With my wife and my two daughters, we can't really imagine living anywhere else, in spite of what the world may think of Africa, because of our love for Africa and that it is home for us. And whatever we try and do, we try and see how we can impact and make a positive difference on the continent. Africa is our home, and the future of Africa is in the hands of the children. So for us, it's a no-brainer to make an impact and do whatever we can, because we live here. And as I've just said to you, this is home. As you take time to get to know me, you will understand and see my passion for Africa. And it's like that because I've lived in Africa my whole life and traveled quite a bit across southern Africa. And I've also worked in civil, structural, agricultural, and project management sector for 21 years. And I've worked in remote areas as well as metropolitan areas. So I've seen it all and experienced such amazing things on this continent. But let's get back to the two questions I asked you just now. Number one, have you spent time thinking about how you can reduce your carbon footprint? And question number two is, have you thought about buying yourself an EV, or do you have an EV already? Now, these two questions create a hidden problem which politicians and the green movement avoid like the plague. I'm going to take time just to list three of the problems. Problem number one is, currently 84% of the global energy mix comes from fossil fuels. So the transition from fossil fuels to green or greener energy has still got a long way to go. And green energy requires a lot of copper, especially for the new solar and wind turbine projects that are being developed all around the world. Problem number two is, the electric vehicle market is only starting to get off the ground. And based on Wright's law, ARK Invest forecasts that EV sales should increase 20-fold from 2.2 million vehicles in 2020 to 40 million vehicles in 2025. And what we have to realize that an average EV vehicle carries about 15 kilograms of copper. So that's now adding more demand for copper. Now, problem number three, like it or not, copper and all other battery minerals have to be mined. Without mining and without getting these minerals out the ground, there is not going to be any green revolution. There is not going to be any decarbonization, and nobody's going to be able to reduce their carbon footprint. It can take anything between 7 and 12 years to establish one new mine. So the projected deficit for 2030 is already sitting at 4.7 million tons of copper. And this issue needs to be addressed sooner or later. Now, if you take time to think about what I've just said to you, these are actually three very big problems. But where there's a problem, there's an opportunity for someone to solve the problem. But before I go on talking about our solution to produce 120,000 tons of copper a year by 2027, there's going to be a call to action near the end of this video. and I'm going to require you to do something for me. But don't worry, I'm not going to ask you for any money. I'm not going to ask you to invest. It's a little, how can I say, investment of your trust. For us to move forward, you're going to have to trust me, and I'm going to have to learn how to trust you as we get to communicate with each other. So the call to action is all going to be about trust. So is that okay with you? Great. Thanks for giving me the permission to carry on. So let's carry on. Now, I've listed the three big problems about the copper sector, the green revolution, decarbonization, everything like that. Now, let me give you our solutions. And our solutions is going to address the copper deficit and make an impact in Africa. So it's twofold. Solution number one is we have a great opportunity and developed a roadmap from there to produce 120,000 tons of copper a year by 2027 here in Southern Africa. To get to producing 120,000 tons of copper within 5 years is really a significant achievement and it's a milestone in any mining operation or any project. So especially if you consider that it takes anything between 7 and 12 years to establish a new mine. And what's also exciting, we can start now in 2022 to get this project off the ground. Solution number two. The first part of the project in mining terms is called a low-hanging fruit opportunity because we're simply going to go and clean up a mining dump. And this mine dump carries an estimate 141,000 tons of copper and 32,000 tons of cobalt, which at the moment is worth about $2 billion US. And it's just there, sitting on top of the ground, waiting for someone to come clean it up. So our solution number two is to tackle a low-hanging fruit project to get cash flow. Solution number three, through this low-hanging fruit opportunity, the cash flow from this mine dump, we'll be enabled to go source and secure copper and battery mineral mining opportunities across Southern Africa. And we're really looking at a few of them, like late exploration, early production mining assets across Zambia, DRC, Namibia, Botswana, and South Africa. So we're already looking at that to get the project going to 120,000 tons a year. Now, I told you just now, there's going to be a call to action. So here it is. I'm looking to talk to and connect with and identify with a handful of people that understand the problem that we're facing with regards to the greener energy future, and that would like to join us in a private strategy session to see if there's a way that we can work together. Not everybody is going to be able to work with us. Not every investor is going to be able to work with us, and that's fine with us. As a great friend always reminds me, saying that taking on an investment partner is like a marriage commitment. You better say no up front before making the commitment, especially if things don't look like they're going to work together. So below this video is a call to action, and there's a simple sign-up form that I need you to complete so that I can send you a personal invitation for you to come and join us in a private strategy session online now in 2022. Again, it's going to be just a discussion session for us to get to know you, for you to get to know us, and we'll most probably share our roadmap and how we're going to get to producing 120,000 tons of copper by 2027 with you. Now, this story, it's actually been quite an interesting story of how we got this project to where we are today, because it started way back in 2015 and 2016, and how it's developed to the point that you're actually watching this video where you are today. 2015, 2016 to 2022, it's quite a lengthy journey to get here. My partner, Jan King, the founder of this project and a 46-year veteran miner, will share more details on his story. But basically, Jan was working in Zambia, and he saw the plight of small-scale and artisanal miners, and he began to work on a way to help them. Jan has worked very hard and to develop this great plan, which incorporates this mining dump. And through this mining dump project, we're going to use a portion of the proceeds to invest up to $10 million to develop services and provide equipment for us to support and help small-scale and artisanal miners on the copper belt region of the DRC and Zambia, who directly support more than 200,000 people in the area. Now, we must remember that the DRC has an estimated 60 million people that live on less than $2 a day. It's one of the poorest nations economically, but they have tremendous natural resources. So this story is still developing, and we're really excited to see where this project is going to go and how we're going to impact the people in this region. So as I wrap up, I told you there were three global problems that we've identified. Currently, 84% of the global energy mix comes from fossil fuels, and the transition to green energy is going to require a lot of copper. Problem number two is that the electric vehicle market is only starting to get off the ground, and it has a potential of reaching 40 million units by 2025. And again, the EV market is going to use extra copper over and above the green energy transition. Problem number three, like it or not, copper mining and other battery minerals have to be mined. And without mining projects being initiated now in 2022, there's going to be a problem. And the estimates are already that there's going to be a copper deficit of about 4.7 million tons by 2030. So those are the problems. But here are our solutions, as I also mentioned to you. Number one, we have an opportunity and a roadmap to produce 120,000 tons of copper by 2027 here in Africa. And we can get started with this project now in 2022. Solution number two. The first part of the project is, in mining terms, is tackling a low-hanging fruit opportunity to clean up a mine dump with an estimated 141,000 tons of copper and 32,000 tons of cobalt, which is worth more than $2 billion. Solution number three is positive cash flow from the mining dump will enable us to source out and secure copper and battery mining operations across the DRC, Zambia, Namibia, Botswana, and South Africa to help us to get to 120,000 tons of production a year. The benefit of the benefit is that there is an opportunity for anyone that gets involved in this project to make money. Otherwise, what's the use? But at the same time, we'll be delivering essential metals and minerals to help decarbonize the world from the carbon-based energy that the world relies on at the moment, like crude oil, coal, and natural gas. But when it comes to energy, it's really a complicated subject and difficult, and I'm not going to go into it. But we must remember today in 2021 or 2022, there's an estimated 2.1 billion people, 2.1 billion people that still have no access to electricity. So you can add their demand for energy on top of decarbonizing electric vehicles. You can add their demand for copper on top of that as well. But there's a need for those of us that have electricity already, wherever we live in the world at the moment, those that have electricity, we need it for everything. We need it for our food production, our food transport, our food preservation. We need it for healthcare. We need it for everything in our home. We need it for our jobs. We need electricity for everything. And as the population grows, as the world develops, there is a need for more energy, which means more copper. So this project offers people a way to benefit and invest in a company that will be supplying just some of the raw materials that is needed for the green revolution, and which will give investors an opportunity to save the environment and make an impact in the investment choices for the future and our children. As I told you, I have two daughters. One is 5 years old and one's 7 years old. So I'm committed to do my best for the next 15 years so that when they leave home, the global energy mix will hopefully look much better than what it is today. But without copper being mined and other battery minerals and other minerals being mined now, we're not going to get to that target. So here's my last call to action. If you're still watching, thank you very much. I do believe that you have some interest in what I have to say. Use the sign-up form below, and then I'll be sending you a personal invitation to join our private strategy session early in 22, and it's going to be online, small groups, so that we can interact with each other. And there, as I said, we'll be discussing our roadmap to get to 120,000 tons of copper production by 2027, and what partners we're looking for, and what we can offer them. One last point, below this video are links to my LinkedIn profile and an article where I've indexed all my Copper Talk videos, posts, and it's a great resource for you to study a bit on the subject and understand more about the region and the demand for copper. And you'll also find some other links to get to know me a bit more. So thank you for watching. I do look forward to meeting you and hearing from you and what's important for you. If what's important for you lines up with what's important for us, then we have an opportunity to work together and unlock a greener future for our families in the world of tomorrow. So thanks again. Regards, Sydney.